I'm getting a lot of questions lately about Western collapse of the Western world, collapse of Western civilization, and there are 2 points I need to clarify because I think a lot of you are either misunderstanding what I'm saying or you're bringing in your own fears into what I'm saying. So first thing is, yes, the Western world is going to collapse. Yes, there's nothing we can do about it at this point. We are a good 25 years past the window where we could have fixed it, particularly with the United States. We could have fixed this back in the 90s, but today it doesn't matter who you vote for. You can vote for Trump, you can vote for Sanders, you can vote for anyone you want. It's already written in the cards. It's mathematically impossible to stop what's coming. And we're talking now about economic collapse and cultural collapse, both. But here's the other thing. It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a long time, or it could be a very long time. It could be several decades before we actually start feeling what has actually started to occur in terms of Western collapse. It could be to 2040. I am not talking about something that'll happen next year, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. Some of you guys seem to think that when I say Western collapse, you're like, oh my God, in 2 or 3 years it's going to be Mad Max and we're all going to be fucked. No, it could be 30 years from now. It could be a long time. The Western world is very big. It's very wealthy. It's very powerful. It's the greatest thing human beings have ever done. So it's not going to just vanish tomorrow. It's not going to go down quickly. It's going to take a while, or at least it could. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it could happen in 5 years. That's possible, but that's not likely. It could be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. God forbid, it could even be 40 years out. It could be a long, long time before you actually experience this. Now, here's my deal. Here's what I'm trying to tell you guys. 30, 40 years from now is in your lifetime. You will live this, unless you are already very old, you will live to see this. You will go through this. Certainly if you're younger than me, but even if you're older than me, you guys in your 50s and maybe even 60s. 60s maybe, we'll see. But 50s, definitely. 40s, yes. If you're under the age of about 60, you're going to see this. You're going to experience the collapse of the Western world in your lifetime. It's not like it's going to be 200 years from now when you're long dead. Oh, no, no. You're going to experience this. That's why I'm talking about it. If I knew for a fact that you weren't going to experience this anytime soon, well, then I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, all right, have fun, and your kids can deal with it. But no, no. Even if it's 30 years out, 35 years out, you will experience this, okay? Now, second thing, and I've mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again, because again, some of you guys don't seem to get this. Western collapse can take the form of about 6 or 7 different things. When I say the word collapse, I am not talking about Mad Max, blood in the streets, gather your bullets, gather your water, hide your family, oh my God, zombies in the streets killing people. I am not talking about that. None of the data that I have suggests anything like that will happen, at least not in the bulk of the Western world. There might be little pockets where that happens temporarily, but that's not going to happen. In terms of what's actually going to happen, you can Google Caleb Jones' blog, what will actually happen, and I go through about 6 or 7 possible scenarios of what a collapse will look like. Maybe it'll be states seceding from the Union. Maybe it'll be European EU countries breaking up. Maybe it will be a massive economic collapse. It could be inflation. It could be deflation. There could be several different scenarios. It could be war. We don't really know. There's no way to predict that. But my point to you is, it's not some kind of post-apocalyptic thing where we're all going to be living in huts, clutching our bullets and chaining up our women. And no, that's not going to happen. Now, is there a possibility? Yes, but I follow the 2% rule, and that's well within the 2% rule of that kind of future. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about other things. Okay? So that's the other aspect of this. Now, third aspect of this is people will say to me, well, why are you leaving the country now? If it's going to happen in 30 years from now, why don't you just, or 20 years or 10 years or whatever, why don't you wait and cash in on America's success in quotes, and then leave? Well, first of all, number one, the reason I'm leaving the country is not because I think it's collapsing. That's probably reason number 4. The first 3 reasons have nothing to do with Western collapse at all. They have mostly to do with financial reasons, business reasons and financial reasons. There are some emotional reasons, but that's like reason 5, 6, 7. So in terms of collapse, that's not why I'm leaving, okay? It's a sub-reason, but it's not the reason. It's not even the top 3 reasons. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I don't want to wait till things are bad. That doesn't make any sense to me. One of the keys to success in terms of long-term success is to get out while things are good. That's how I play blackjack. You play blackjack and you win. When you're winning, when you're doing great, you're done. You get up and you leave the casino. What do most people do? They're winning and they keep playing, and then they lose it all, and they're pissed. Not smart. I want to leave while things are relatively good. So I'm leaving now while things are relatively good. I don't want to wait several years down the road and just chill out and enjoy myself. And then when things really start to get bad in the United States, and they'll get bad in Europe well before they get bad in the United States, but when things start getting really bad in the United States, I don't want to then try to figure out all the logistics and ins and outs of where I'm going to move and where I'm going to put my money. And no, Five Flags, what I'm doing, is pretty complicated, okay? Even if you just move out of the country without Five Flags, it's kind of a complicated process. And the last thing that I want to do is go through that complicated process while things are collapsing. No thanks. I'd rather go through that complicated process now while things are okay. Okay? That's what I would rather do. That seems smarter to me. Okay? Now, I'm going to end with this, and I've said this before. You don't have to move out of your country if you embrace Alpha 2.0 business and financial models. Okay? If you've got 2 to 4 location-independent small businesses that have international income, that are location-independent, that have multiple streams of income, you have zero or very little debt, you're invested in very solid things that are not locked into your country, you don't have to move. You could stay where you are, and the collapse could occur, and you'll be generally okay. Moving is an option. Moving is kind of Alpha Male 2 level 2. And maybe Five Flags is level 3. So these are optional things. I am not saying to everyone in my audience, oh my God, you better move. I kind of think you should. Depends on what country you're in. I mean, I don't think it would hurt, but you don't have to if you adopt all these models that we talk about. If you don't adopt these models, if you just say, I'm good. I got a good corporate job. I work for Google and I make $120,000 a year and I got my 401k and I'll just get traditionally monogamously married, and you're going to be fucked when the Western world collapses. You're going to be screwed. You're going to be first in line for death when that shit happens. Oh my God, I'd hate to be you. So you are the guys who should lead. You Alpha 2.0s who are actually doing these things, you have a little more leeway. Cool? Cool. I know this is a big topic. I could talk a lot about this, but I wanted to clarify those two things.